We're working right now on several watches, and it's a lot of craftsmanship involved. So, for example, I give you some pics here. You can see the drilling machine. It's a very historical piece, but it's still very precise, and I really like to use this machine drilling holes, especially a very small diameter below 1 millimeter, because it's very precise. You can adjust everything. It's not rocket science, it's not high tech, but it's a very solid piece of tool. How does it look like when I give you a view from a very from a narrow perspective here? This is one of the movements, which is partly finished already, but still some holes still need to be made. Some threads still need to be made for this part to hold the plate that is between the dial and the surface of the movement, which included later the motion work for the regulator. But other parts, for example, we are also doing, I can show you some pictures here from our in-house balance wheel. It looks like this. You can see the balance wheel and the screws. We are putting 14 to 16 screws in every balance wheel. These are actually the smallest screws that we use, which have a diameter of the thread 0.4 millimeters. And it's a really delicate kind of work to put all the screws into the balance wheel and use the screws to really balance the balance wheel, so that no matter in which position you will carry the watch, it runs all at the same timing. So you really can adjust using the screws for the balance wheel. How to do it? We are using this piece of tool. You can see the robin surface where the pivots lie on, and when the balance wheel still turns, because it's out of balance, it will turn so that the heaviest part is below the balance, and so you can define where the unbalance is located, and can by removing material from the screws can change it so long so it really can be balanced in the end. What else do we have here? Here you can see how the threads will be made to put in all the screws, and here is how the balance look like all together assembled. The stuff, the hairspring, the balance wheel with the screws, and also the plateau, which you can't see in this view. Yeah, and where does all this happen? To give you a little idea how it works and where it will be done. Here you can see one of the workbenches that I'm working on. You can see a lot of tools on it. You can see screwdrivers, drills. You can see files and all kinds of all kinds of holders. Here I have another view on the table. This is the place where I usually work, and right now here will the movement be assembled. The big wheel over there is the barrel, and now wheel after wheel will be assembled. This little spring is the second stop spring. Every time you will pull out the crown, it will stop the balance of moving, so the second hand will stop, so you can really set very precisely the time of the watch. Now it comes escapement wheel. The second wheel, this is the Kleinbohrer, how to call it. Oh no, this is the second wheel, and the second wheel is actually the third wheel. In Germany we call it the second wheel because it carries the second hand, but in English it's different. The calling is different. This is the first wheel, or in German is called the minute wheel because it will carry the minute hand, and it's in the center of the watch movement. Now the main, the 3/4 plate will be set. Of course, it needs to be done very carefully so that the wheels, all the wheels and all the pivots really fit into the hole where they belong to. Usually this work is done by moving the wheels a bit back and forward, so you in every moment you can check whether the wheels and the pivots are freely moving. And when you're sure that all the pivots are into the robin holes, then the screws will be fitted. And in the end, everything should move with a certain clearance that is necessary for the wheels to turn. Here you can see the click spring wheel. With a screw, which is black polished. And the click spring wheel has this typical surface that you always can find in a fine German watchmaking. We test it as well. The movement is moving. Enough the clearance will be checked here. And when this work is done, the click spring and the click will be assembled. And if this work is done, the next part will be assembling the anchor. It is held by the anchor bridge, which will be the next now. You can see it here. And hold by 2 screws before the balance, including the balance cock and the swan neck fine adjustment, will be assembled above the anchor. So the train of the force is starting from the main spring, running over the center wheel, the whole wheel assembling to the escapement wheel, to the anchor, to the balance. And when everything is set up properly, the balance starts moving. And running and performing. The other side of the movement is this one. Below the dial you can find the motion work, which will drive the hands, especially for the hour hand. It needs some more wheels because the hour, the time of the hour comes not from the center, but it's below the 12. Yeah, and so far this is the first test. Let's check who is still working today. You can see the master watchmaker working on some minute hands. It's a lot of craftsmanship to grind and polish the surface of the hand before it will be blued. In the background, our marketing specialist is working as well. Yeah. So that's the first try. I hope you enjoyed the view here. We really enjoy working here together. It's a kind of a very small paradise here for craftsmen and for artists. Actually, artists, all the people who are working with the hands, creating piece by piece an entire timepiece, and really serving customers which are interested in timepieces and craftsmanship and really want to wear handmade watch. And this little video should give you also the idea and get to know the watchmakers behind your watches.